be the topic of next week's podcast, everybody.
That's right. World domination.
That's right.
That sounds interesting.
We've already begun work on our underwater city.
Welcome to AT Banter, the podcast where we discuss anything and everything regarding the world of assistive technology. With our hosts, Steve Barkley, Rob Minot, and Ryan Fleury. Now, let's banter.
And hey there, and welcome to yet another episode of a little something we like to call AT Banter.
Banter.
I'm Rob Minot, and I'm joined today by the lovely Ryan Fleury.
Howdy.
And the charismatic Steve Barkley.
You're looking for a raise, aren't you?
Why, yes, I was. Did it work?
Not yet. Keep talking.
Oh, well, here we are. It's September already.
Isn't that crazy?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know where the time's going. I still feel like it's like July. I don't even know where the summer went.
No. Only 45 shopping days till Christmas. No, I don't know that. I have no idea how many shopping days are.
I was just thinking October, November. No, he's wrong.
Oh my God.
Although Christmas stuff is already out in the stores.
Is it?
Some of them, yeah.
Really?
Walmart's got Christmas and Halloween stuff, and it's crazy.
Wait, we're checking. We're fact checking here.
I am.
There's got to be an app.
There's a website. There are only 101 days until Christmas.
Okay, well, you see, you weren't.
That's as of recording, mind you. So
that's not
so by the
terribly far
time
off.
you people hear this podcast, you've lost a couple of days.
That's right.
It'll be like 99 days till Christmas.
Ugh. Man,
So start drinking.
now I'm going to get that Amazon Prime membership going again.
Yeah.
Yes, it comes in handy this time of year.
It is. So today we are going to have Mel Scott coming on the show, talking a little bit about her company Blind Alive, which is a exercise company that produces accessible and user-friendly content. We're kind of excited about that because, well, if anybody can use exercise.
We can. Okay, I can.
Well, no, you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong.
Yeah, you weren't completely off there.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Do you guys have any thoughts about the iPhone 7?
Glad I don't have one.
Yeah.
From the reports I'm reading, it's breaking some phones. So
Well, the new
iOS 10.
right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's breaking some iPads and iPhones, and you're having to use iTunes to restore them.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's not good.
Wasn't very well thought out.
Yeah.
That or their beta testers suck.
Yeah. Yeah, there seem to be a few missteps in the cell phone industry of late. The iPhone is breaking, or iOS is breaking things, and
The Note 7.
the Galaxy Note 7 is
Exploding.
catching on fire, and not allowed on airplanes anymore.
That's right.
What I do like about iOS 10, not that I have it anymore, but if I did have an iPhone, I'd be very excited about this, is that with iOS 10, you can actually remove some of those built-in Apple apps that you never use.
Oh,
that
can you?
are stuck on the desktop.
Well,
Nice. Wish I could do that on my Android phone.
you can't.
If I was to root the phone,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you could do it. But I haven't bothered with that. I'm lazy.
Yeah, me either.
So anything about the iPhone 7, though, that struck you guys as, aside from, the big controversy of the headphone jack?
Yeah, to be honest, I've since I departed the iPhone world, and really I haven't looked back. I just don't care. I see all this hype going by with these things with new releases. I saw it with the. I quit at the 4. So every successive release, I just kind of roll my eyes at the people lining up for these things. And
Well, I think those lines are getting smaller I find that the hoopla around, an Apple press conference these days is not all that noisy.
Well, and I still can't figure out what the hype is all about. You know, at least with Android, you have a choice. You have Sony, LG, you have multiple screen sizes, you have physical home buttons or phones without buttons. It's a lot more options and a lot less expensive options than the 2 iPhones.
Yep.
So go Android.
Yeah. Listeners may note that we all have Android phones here, and we're not the biggest Apple fans. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I loved Apple hardware. I loved the phone itself. What drove me away from the iPhone was iTunes.
iTunes.
I hated iTunes.
It's still just as bad. I mean, I use it on occasion. I think Bob gave us iTunes cards one Christmas. So I still have a bunch of money on my iTunes account. And that's the only reason that I ever log into iTunes is to watch the odd movie. Otherwise, I'd never have it on my computer.
Yeah. I pulled it off mine and I haven't looked back.
I still have it on my computer. And I still use an Apple TV at home as well. So for purchasing, I still have to go through the iTunes store. But phone-wise, I got rid of that a long time ago. I hated the syncing.
Yeah, really, that's what really bothered me too, was the syncing, the even the language that they use when you're trying to sync, being like, oh, hey, this is going to delete your entire library. Do you still want to sync? And it's like, whoa, wait, what? You're going to do what? On where? Like the computer? On my phone? Like, no, I just want to add these 2 songs to my playlist. Like,
I don't know if it's improved any, but I always used to get Audible audiobooks and listen to them in the car. And getting them onto an iPhone was so frustrating because you'd have to first download them on the computer and then they'd get synced into iTunes, maybe. And then to get them onto your phone was a bizarre ritual.
Yeah.
You had to kill a chicken and draw lines on the ground and dance around for a while. And it was ridiculous. And now with my Android, I just pull them straight off the app, straight onto the phone.
Yep.
It's just
it works just
Very
like
nice.
a computer.
Yeah.
That's really what, and the fact that with my phone, I was able to add like a 128 gig, SD card to my phone and dramatically increase the amount of space that I had on it. So I could just load absolutely everything that I wanted music-wise onto the phone.
But now with the new phone, you have, 32 gigabytes, 64, 128, and 256 iPhones now? I think their largest one's like 256 gigabytes of built-in storage, but that's probably going to cost you $1,200.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of storage space.
It is, yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Pretty expensive phone, though, for that kind of storage.
Yeah, true enough.
But it's too funny. Like one of the other things that I noticed about the new Apple announcement and the phone was they went to great lengths to describe how beautiful the finish on the phones
Unless you get the black one.
Yeah, and then if you get the black one, they recommend a case
That's
because
right.
it's going to scratch. Yeah,
That's right. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, I'm sure Steve Jobs is up somewhere, yelling
Shaking
down at
his
them,
head.
"What are you guys doing?"
You never heard of a clear code?
Like, think about it. I knew I should have sold the Gates.
So let's talk about this headphoneless thing.
Yeah.
Because it is an odd choice to make to say, hey, we're gonna take away your headphone jack altogether. Now, I guess it kind of makes sense because it makes it easier to seal the phone to keep it from getting water damage.
Right.
But now you've got to have both your headphones and your phone charged. You can't just have one.
There are third-party adapters now that'll connect to your Thunderbolt, because the main issue was you weren't able to charge your phone and listen to your phone at the same time. Mm-hmm. But there is I think Belkin's got one. There's a couple others as well that now will plug into the Thunderbolt port and let you charge your phone and still listen to music at the same time.
Huh.
So there's been a workaround for that now.
Wait, that's what they called it? The Thunderbolt port? Like it went from like
The Thunderbolt connector.
Because there was the one on the current phones is the Lightning, right?
Or is it Lightning? Okay, then it's Lightning. I thought it was Thunderbolt still.
Okay.
So it's the Lightning
See, I
connector.
thought you knew something I didn't.
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Again, I don't have an iPhone. So whatever the new one is, there's an adapter now.
Well, now we've got to Google it to
I don't know, but I
make sure we got it correct.
But they should totally name it the Thunderbolt. It's not. That's totally, because I was like, wow, that's actually kind of clever. But no, apparently Ryan's just making.
No, there's another Thunderbolt port. Maybe that's on the MacBooks.
We're fact checking now.
iPhone 7, now in black, scratchy black.
And you've got 2 cameras now, a 12 megapixel and
Right.
what's the other one? 8 or something, I think. So OCR apps might work better.
That's true. I didn't think of that. I know supposedly it's supposed to help a lot with when you're zooming in and you're able to take higher res pictures.
Yeah, there's a few articles out there that talk about the accessibility features and enhancements in the new phone, the new iOS version.
It is a lightning connector.
Lightning connector?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, Belkin, and there's others that have come up with an adapter that let you charge and
Oh, and
play at the same
it looks
time.
like the phone itself does come with earpods with a lightning connector.
Oh, okay.
So you're not starting out without headphones,
Right.
And you don't have to have the charged ones, but you can.
And I've also got the wireless earpods now too,
Right.
Yeah.
which is, I think, last 5 hours on battery or something.
Right. And then you have them for 2 days before you lose them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Through LTE now, they're delivering 450 megabits per second.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I don't get that speed on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't think I get that speed on my computer at home.
No.
Plugged into the router.
No. But are you paying for the premium Shaw package?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you should be getting their new one, which is like 150
I'm just kidding.
megabits.
I'm probably getting that on my computer at home.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Wow. Come over to my house, fix mine.
So all in all, I would say the consensus around the table here is we're a little underwhelmed at the iPhone. But then again, we're not iPhone guys. So
Rumor has it, though, next year's iPhone is going to be the revolutionary one.
really?
This is kind of like a tick to the talk.
Right.
You know, like processors have a tick and a talk cycle.
Yep.
It's kind of what I've read as well related to this new announcement.
I just heard a news article yesterday that there was a new type of glass that's just been developed that uses silver nanowires, and can't remember what else there was. There was another chemical in it, but it's about 1/6 of the cost of the glass that they typically use for touch screens on phones,
Right.
and it is virtually indestructible.
Well,
And you're saying this is going to take over the cell phone touchscreen market.
Really? And it's cheaper to produce.
Cheaper to produce, uses more readily available minerals. The minerals, I guess, that they use in typical touchscreens are rare and expensive. So because they're using a more readily available chemical to produce these, they're able to do it a lot cheaper.
Really? So potentially we could see a drop in pricing.
And yeah, touchscreen pricing for sure.
Maybe
That's an expensive component.
maybe you'll finally get your Nexus screen fixed.
Yeah. I was just looking at it actually and thinking, I've got the replacement screen here. I've just got to get Rick to throw it on for me.
There you go.
So you become a beta tester for them to see if it actually is virtually indestructible. Just be like, look, if I break all my phones, I will test this technology out and we'll see.
I am qualified to thrash a phone.
Well, next up will be, I think, Google I/O next month. So
Oh, yeah?
we'll find out what Google's announcing. Exciting times.
Indeed.
Should be something named Gaggle.
Gaggle.
Google and Gaggle. Okay, well, you guys ready to talk to Mel? Let's bring her on.
Alrighty.
Well, we are very pleased to welcome today, via the magic of the internet, Mel Scott, who is with a company that produces accessible and user-friendly exercise programs called Blind Alive. Thanks for coming on, Mel.
Oh, you're very welcome. This is fun.
Why don't we start right at the beginning, Mel, and let's just have you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, cool. So my name is Mary Ellen Scott. Everybody says, okay, what's Mel short for? And everybody starts saying, oh, it's Melanie or something like that. And no, it's not Melanie, it's Mary Ellen. But I've been Mel pretty much all my life. And for a while I tried on Mary, but that I am definitely not a Mary. So that did not work. So it's Mel. And I was a massage therapist for 32 years. And then a few years ago, I started learning about blogging and podcasting. And I just decided to decide, I can do this. I can do my own thing. And so I've had so much fun learning and just stepping up to my own fears. I mean, it's terrifying. I'm sitting here right now, and I used to be terrified sitting in front of the mic, but now it's just fun, So I started my company, Blind Alive. So I guess it was 2013. At the end of 2013, I just woke up one day and I thought, I like Blind Alive. I love that phrase, and I'm going to go buy that URL. So I went and I bought the URL along with a whole bunch of others. I sort of went URL crazy. And I mean, it's kind of a kick to just start buying up URLs.
Oh, Ryan knows that well.
I do the same. Yeah.
I don't know how many I've got right now. I bought Blind Citizens Hacker. I mean, what am I going to do with Blind Citizens Hacker? So, I let that one go. I bought blindosphere.com. I bought melscott.co. I bought eyesfreefitness.com, which is probably the one I'm going to be developing because Eyes Free Fitness is my registered trademark now. And so the Blind Alive is the company, and the Eyes Free Fitness is kind of the brand. I bought the URL, and then I just let it sit for a while. And then I started just playing with blogging just on your basic, WordPress kind of thing, just because I got these creative urges to write something or do something, but I didn't know what that was. And then I was sitting on my stationary bike one day, and I was upset. I was mad because I wanted the latest and greatest Beachbody workout. And so I ordered it and I got it. And, as usual, I couldn't do it by myself. And so I had to get somebody to watch it with me. And then, good old Jane Fonda. I used to do, Jane Fonda workouts all the time. And so I got one of her latest ones, and she just kept saying, now look at me, make sure you get your form right. And I'm going, Jane, you can do better than that. And so I just got this huge energy rush. My heart started pounding, and I thought to myself, if you want it, create it. So I said, wait a minute, I can do this. I'm smart enough. I know how to do this. I'm not a fitness instructor, but I know a lot about fitness and exercise because I've done it all my life. So I got off my bike and went and sat at my computer and just made a list of all the things I needed to do to start a company, to start a website, and to create accessible, well-described fitness programs. And within 2 days, I had web designer, which was my niece. And she said, okay. I said, Janie, I need a website. And she made me a website. And then after I got a little bit into it, I go, Janie, I can't do this by myself. I need a web developer. She goes, I got your guy. So I called him up, Chris Cox. And he said, okay, we're going to do Squarespace. And he is phenomenal. And he's so devoted to the mission of accessible. So he downloaded JAWS, and he does VoiceOver. He does all the different screen readers, and he's completely sighted. And so I started working with him. I got a fitness instructor. Her name is Shayna Mayleaf, and her mother is blind, and she was a really good friend of mine. So that worked out great. So within 8 months, I had 6 workouts, and they were up and posted and selling. And, over time we realized that, okay, Stripe is not working so great with Squarespace. So we built a custom shopping cart. And we're just about to launch the next level of that next month. And this shopping cart is going to be beautiful. Now it's 2 years later, and it's a LLC. I have a lawyer. I've got an accountant. I have a bookkeeper. I have an administrative assistant, Lisa Salinger. You might know Lisa. She's kind of everywhere, and she's totally my second head. And then I have a personal assistant that actually comes to my house and does, helps me do stuff with lighting. I'm going to start doing videos, I think, if I can get my courage up to do that. And so naturally, I need somebody that's sighted to do that. So,
well, were you born blind?
I have RP. So no, I stopped reading print, regular size print, when I was about in the 10th grade. And I was mainstreamed into the public school system when I was 11. And I have an older sister. I had an older sister that was blind also. She died a few years ago, but she was 17 years older than me. And she went to the Moorhead School for the Blind in Raleigh. And at that time, Mom and Dad, felt like that was a really good place for her. But when it came time for me to go there, it didn't feel quite right to them. And that's when they started mainstreaming into the public school system in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And so I went to live with my sister and was mainstreamed into the public school system there. And so then I went to high school, and I had an itinerant teacher, taught me Braille and typing and all that good stuff. And then when I went to college, I used a CCT TV, the camera. And I didn't do any of my reading that way, but that's how I wrote all my papers. So I could write with it, but I couldn't read back what I had written. So I wrote very well because you only got one chance at it, right? You write it well the first time and then hand it over to the typist is what I did. And I did great. But then when it came time to go to graduate school, I took the GRE, the graduate record exam, and I used a CCTV to do that. And it took me 6 hours to do the test, and I was physically ill when I finished. And so I just laid down my pen and I said, okay, I'm done. I'm never writing again. I'm done. and that was it. That was it. And then talking computers came in. I guess I got my first talking computer in 1983 or 4, I guess, when they first started talking. And wow, that just launched me into a whole other world.
So would that have been back then? Would that have been an Apple?
No, I had a Windows. No, it wasn't Windows. It was the other thing.
DOS.
Yes, that.
DOS.
The other thing.
Going back to the dark days of computing.
Yeah,
MS-DOS.
that's what I had. Yeah, that's what it was.
Was JAWS ever in DOS?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a JAWS for DOS.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I never
2.0.
did JAWS. I did something else.
Gosh, what was back there? Arctic?
Screen power?
No, it would have been pre-Screen Power.
It was like
Vert?
I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't very good, whatever it was. And then I switched over to Window Eyes, and then I switched over to VoiceOver on the Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a while back. So I've been on a Mac for, I guess 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years now.
And what got you into massage therapy?
Well, I have 5 older siblings, and they were, all 5 of them were born within 10 years. And then 10 years later, I was born. So they were always saying, rub my back, scratch my back, or whatever. And I did it. And I was always really good at it. And my brother said, oh, you ought to be a physical therapist. And so then I said, no, I want to be a chiropractor. And I was all set to go to chiropractic school. And there was so much science involved, more of the hard sciences. And I loved anatomy and biology, but the chemistry, it's like, I can't do this. And so I went to college, majored in psychology with a minor in something called medical aspects. And I studied death and dying. I was one of the tragic poet types. And I would always hang out with the poets and the writers and the deep, dark people.
The emo crowd.
Yeah, emo crowd. And so then on a whim, I just took a massage class one day on a weekend. And when I walked in there, it's like, okay, here I am. I'm home. This is it. And I knew. And I had a fellowship to go on to graduate school in psychology at UNC Chapel Hill. And I just called him up and I said, I want to defer this for a year because I want to try out to see if massage therapy works for me. Well, my family and everybody, they were not particularly happy because when I make a decision, I make it really fast. And so that's what I did. I studied massage for a year. I started my own business right then. And I loved it. I was at home. So when they called me up a year later, they said, are you coming? I said, no, no, I'm not. And sometimes, I look back and I think, oh, should I have gotten my PhD? But no, I shouldn't. If I had, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now, and I'm having a great time. So.
There you go.
Well, there's no better reason to give up a PhD than to talk to us.
That's right. We've talked to many people.
Yeah, if there's PhD candidates out there, just drop it and phone us.
You never know where you'll land.
That's right.
So it sounds like you were always a bit of a self-starter.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like to wait. I don't like to wait for what I want.
So, and it sounds like Blind Alive was really built from the ground up.
Oh, definitely. Yes. So once I got, I did some of the blogging parts and then I got the workouts going. Then I started playing with the podcast and, I was just in my closet, just sitting on the floor. And that's where I recorded all of my podcast until last week. So, yeah. And that was fun. And then Lisa came on and she and I go back and forth with the podcasting thing. It's fun.
So I'm looking at your website here and looking at all of these different workouts that you've got, and they're very reasonably priced, and you've got a ton of them. There's just an amazing number of different types of workouts and different approaches. Tell us about slow flow yoga.
That's the last one. That's probably one of my favorites. Of course, they're all my favorites, really. But that one, my intention was to bring people up slowly with yoga, because a lot of people find yoga to be very intimidating, or they feel like it's got some religious aspect to it that makes them feel uncomfortable. And that's not what yoga's about. It can be, but it isn't at the heart of it. And so my intention with the yoga was I started with the gentle yoga for beginners, and that starts people on the ground. There are no standing postures, so you don't have to worry at all about balance or anything like that. So I start people really slowly with the gentle yoga on the floor. And then the intention with the slow flow was to bring people up and begin introducing them to the basic postures of the sun salutation, because the sun salutation works all of the muscles in your body, and it's just a great stretch and strengthening, and you learn how to breathe. And so then we move from the sun salutation into some of those classic poses like, Warrior Two and tree pose, which is really good for your balance, because we need balance. We need a lot of balance work. And yoga is great for that. So that's what the slow flow yoga is. And Joe Simic, the guy, his voice is like velvet. I could, as Lisa said, he could just read the phone book to me and I would be happy. So that's slow flow yoga.
So what's kind of the process in creating one of these lessons?
Well, it seems like it's different every time because I didn't know what I was doing. So my beginning intention was to have a video, to have high contrast videos so that if you've got low vision, you could see it, as well as have the description so well that you didn't have to see it. But I learned very quickly that making a video was very, very difficult and expensive. I was going into a studio in New York and I didn't know what I was doing. So I sort of ditched that first effort and started over with the audio. So what happens now is I get the fitness instructor and I decide what kind of workout that I want and who is my target audience. The first 6 workouts are basic, but they're not necessarily easy. And so I wanted to target, an audience that wants to exercise and wants to move and is really committed to doing it. So the first ones are cardio level 1, and that's that you don't get on the floor at all for that one. So that one is pretty easy. And then cardio level 2, which is a little more intense. So you actually get down on the floor and do some mountain climbers and some planks and some things that are a little bit more vigorous. And then I have sculpting with weights level 1. And that's just, you're using lighter weights and only working one muscle group at a time. And then we go to sculpting with weights level 2. So they're doing compound movements. So you're doing, say, squats while you're doing overhead presses. So that's a more of a functional exercise type workout. And then we move to stability ball, which I love the stability ball. And it's a whole body workout and it's fun and the music is great. And then the last one in that series is boot camp, and it's tough. It's tough. I can't even do it. So, but somebody might be able to do it.
So tough you even defeated yourself.
Well, I can almost do it, but not quite. So when we went into the studio to record that one, I actually got somebody that was really, really fit to do it so that so Shayna could have somebody, to cue that could actually do the exercises. And then after that, last year we did the gentle workout set, which is a set of 4 workouts that are 20 minutes. And I did those. I designed those and voiced those. And then we've got Pilates. We have 3 different Pilates. We've got Pilates mat level 1, Pilates mat level 2, and the Pilates chair with ring. So that's for people in a chair using a Pilates ring. And then we've got the 2 yoga ones. And so now I'm working on more.
Wow, you've got quite a bit of stuff. So we've got out there somewhere out there in the podcast universe, there is some tubby guy sitting on his couch with a box of donuts beside him, hating himself.
That's me.
And wants to get involved in workouts. What would you suggest that he starts with?
I think the gentle workout set is the best one. And I designed those. They can be done in a chair, and they are, they're gentle and easy, and you're not wearing yourself out. And there's a light warm up and stretch there. There's a cardio, which you can actually do in a chair or standing up. There's an upper body and a lower body. The very, very gentle. And that's my first recommendation. If you're okay getting up and down off the floor, and you don't even have to do them on the floor, you could do them on the bed. The Pilates mat workouts would be fine for that. And also the Pilates chair with ring would be good for that. And I just read a book, and I hate the title of the book, but I'm getting used to it. It's called The Fat Girl's Guide. And it's really educated me about that, the whole population, and what it is that a larger body needs. So that's actually my next focus. I want to concentrate on how we can get people moving. I don't care what size you are. I don't care what your goal is. I want people to feel better inside their own body. And in order to do that, even just moving a little bit more and a little bit more every day I think it just makes you feel better. And I'm not a person that believes in deprivation. I believe in adding. So instead of taking away the donut, let's add a cup of salad, and then the next day add another cup of something. And eventually the more healthy foods you eat and the more movement you do on a daily basis, the other stuff kind of naturally starts to fall away.
That's actually brilliant. Actually, that is...
I've got a follow-up question. What is the ideal donut to go with Pilates?
Oh, man, I don't touch them.
It's got to be something without sprinkles, because the sprinkles would fall off.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Probably
have to be a glaze.
Yeah, like a honey glaze or something.
Yeah. I think so.
There's a Krispy Kreme donut place between here and Rochester, New York, and we used to go by it, and we would stop and get a donut, and my mouth's watering now. Just I don't do donuts.
well, we're in Canada here, so it's the land of Tim Hortons. So we are the land of the donut.
Oh man, I bet they're great.
I don't know. I don't eat them either.
I don't know.
I try and avoid them anyway.
I see the wheels spinning in Steve's mind. I think I know
Donut run.
I think. No, I was going to say I think he's going to get us all the
exercise programs
workout for Christmas, corporate Christmas present.
There you go.
That's right.
Fridays get fit day.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You could do a podcast doing exercising and moaning and groaning.
Okay, we have to go now, Mel. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, come
on. So how long does it take to produce a series of exercises?
Well, the first ones fell into place so fast and so easy. And right now I'm struggling a little bit because I have to get the right fitness instructor with the right voice. And then I like to get music composed, and I try to stick with music composers that are blind because there are so many talented composers in our community. So I usually get the voice track done, and what I do is I get the fitness instructor and we talk about the workout and what we want. And then they record their version of what it would be. And then I go through it and do it with them. And they help me feel it in my own body, get the form right. And then I go back and write a script for them with the descriptions. And then we go back and they can make the script their own in a natural way. And so we go back and forth like that, and then we record the voice track, and then I take it to the music person and say, okay, compose me some music around this voice. And then we put it all together and pop it up on the website. And then I send it off to CD Baby, and they make CDs, and then we download them to thumb drives and SD cards, and then you can also download from the website. So I try to make them available in as many ways as I possibly can, and it takes a while.
And how often are you producing new content?
The first 12 came in 2 years, and this year it's being a little bit slower, but by the end of the year, I'm not going to give you a number because I'm afraid I'll jinx it, but I have 3 or 4 workouts in process right now. So, and we have an app in development, and it's being tested right now. So that's going to be really exciting when the app comes out, because people are going to be able to play the workouts right from their app, be able to purchase the workouts from the app, play the podcast, and get the blogs all from the app. So I'm super excited, but that has been tough to get that thing figured out, because every time we get close, something happens.
Right.
So will you have an Android app as well as an iOS app?
Oh, Ryan.
Hey, come on. I'm not the only Android user out there.
Do you know any Android developers?
No.
Okay. Well, when you get me an Android developer, I will entertain the idea.
All right. I'll see what I can find.
There's actually a service that you can go to. It is called, now I'm drawing a blank.
What is the
name of the service?
Level of concentration on his face right now.
It basically lets you put out a request for proposals from programmers. So you basically write up what you want them to do, and then they bid on it. And you get these programmers from all over the world, and usually the ones who win are in places like India or Pakistan or Russia or Ukraine. And it's called freelancer.com.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. I've used it in the past and ended up working with a guy in Ukraine. He was very good. He knew his stuff.
Well,
it's a good way to get programmers if you need them.
The developer, his name's Austin Seraphin, and he is totally blind. And I wanted to give him a chance to do it, so he's doing it. And it's hard work because not all of iTunes and the Apple developer sites are accessible. I mean, it's really tough sometimes, but we're doing it and we're going to do it. So, I'm proud of it. I just can't wait till it's done. And then if it goes, if people really like it and it makes a profit for me, which would be fabulous, then yeah, I'll do Android.
Yay. Then I'll have to stop lifting cheeseburgers to my face.
That's right. If you do, then we're going to make Ryan do the exercise.
That's right. I'll start out with the gentle.
Okay.
And have
All
my
right.
cheeseburger after.
No.
It's okay if you add. You just first they will add you a donut,
And then a bacon cheeseburger, then a milkshake.
All right, whatever. We are doing a blogging contest, though. And what we're doing is accepting submissions for blog posts about, health, anything to do with health. And, we're going to, judge them. And then whoever wins, they'll get a gift card and a couple of workouts. And then we'll also put, the best ones up on our, on the website. So that's coming up.
and that's coming up. That's not current. You're not currently running that?
We will be running it as of tomorrow. So I don't know when this podcast goes out.
And not till Friday. So yeah.
Okay,
so if
yeah,
anyone's
yeah.
interested out there, go check out the Blind Alive website right now and submit your blog.
Yes, definitely. Do it. blindalive.com.
So how big is the team at Blind Alive?
Okay, let's see. I've got Chris and Lisa are my two heads, so that makes the three-headed monster. And then there's Jamie Pauls, who does the podcast editing, and those are our main people. And then Austin Seraphin is the app developer. And then I consult with all kinds of people. And then the musicians, I have Christopher Bell, Jason Castanguay, Jimmy Fontanez. I have been composers, John O'Reilly. So I have, different people that I contract out to. So it changes from day to day, I guess.
Right. And how often do you podcast?
We have a podcast that comes out every 2 weeks. Every week is just too much. It's too much for my brain. So every 2 weeks. So not this week, but next week it'll come out. Last week, we have different segments that we do. I do a fitness speak segment where I talk about just educating people about their bodies. You'd be amazed at how much people don't know about where they live. They live inside their body, and people don't know where their liver is. And, so I talk about really, really basic things. And right now I'm doing a whole series on body fluids. And I get so excited, about talking about, blood and mucus and, all these fun things. So, just teaching people about simple things like that. And then Lisa does a book it segment. So she reads books and then she reviews them. And Lisa's also real techie. And so the podcast is coming out next time she's going to have a book review. And then she's going through the app Zombies Run. I think it is.
Oh,
so
yeah. I had that app on my phone.
That app nearly killed me.
Yeah, it really did. It almost killed me. I had to actually stop because I'm like, I think I might actually give myself a heart attack.
Well, that's great if it gets you to move. I haven't tried it yet.
Is it accessible for us who are blind?
Yes.
Really?
Lisa talks you through it. She talks you through the whole thing. And then we have another segment called Let's Eat, where we talk about food and how to cook different things, just really basic things. And, so those are the three segments. And then we usually have an interview with somebody. Like I interviewed Diane Bergeron from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last week? I can't remember. It might have been 2 weeks ago. So that was, just talking to different people all over the world. It's great fun.
And what about the blog? How often do you do blog posts?
We blog every week, and it's either me or Lisa, and sometimes we have guest posts. And that's what we're encouraging people, because we want to hear other people's stories. So we're encouraging people to start submitting some of their own stuff for us to put on the blog post. And
I see that you have a Facebook page and a Twitter account, and so there's actually that's an awful lot of content to be producing on a weekly and a bi-weekly basis.
Oh yes, it is. We've got the Facebook page. That's everything's Blind Alive at Blind Alive. It's all run together. That's the Twitter account. That's the Facebook page. I have the Blind Alive community group on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. Have a YouTube channel. And I'm on LinkedIn. I post all of the blogs on Audio Boom. Lisa reads them out loud, so they're posted there. Because I want people to be able to access us and the information in whatever way works for them. So you can get the podcast on the Victor Reader Stream or on the Echo.
So what's your favorite way to exercise?
Oh gosh, it depends on the day. And it really, really does. One day I'll do a cardio workout. The next day I'm studying somebody else's workout so that I can understand how to do it. I think I love yoga. And I love the stability ball and I love the cardio workouts. And so I just mix and match every day and whatever. And some days I don't do anything at all. Some days I just bounce around in my kitchen while I'm waiting for something to cook, or I'm listening to a podcast on, what's her name? Alexa, on the Amazon. I'm just bouncing around and exercising that way. But I need to move because I really tend towards depression. And I'm also undergoing a treatment for breast cancer right now. And so I really have to keep my exercise up. I mean, it's a matter of life and death for me. Really, it really is. So exercise is super, super important to me. So I try to do something every day.
And is yoga and Pilates generally the best type of all-around workout that you can do?
Pilates and yoga are meditative from my viewpoint. I love the slow and the breathing. And of course you can do power yoga, but I'm not into that. I don't like, going nuts. I like to go slow and easy. And yoga is that way. And yoga is so good for balance and flexibility and strength and your mental state. All of it. Yoga is good for everything. And Pilates is fabulous for your core. And, the core part of our body is our trunk. And if the trunk of our body isn't strong, then our arms and legs don't do what they need to do in the way that they're supposed to do it. So the trunk of our body needs to be very strong so that we have a nice upright posture. So we look good and we carry ourselves well with poise, and Pilates will do that for you. And the nice thing about Pilates is it's slow and precise, and the movements are small, but you feel it, man. The next day you will feel it. And so I love both of them.
And I guess the benefit of that too is that neither of them really require a lot of floor space to be able to do, right?
Right. And that's the way I design all of my workouts. We don't need equipment. A nice exercise mat is good. And, a nice yoga mat and a set of weights, but you don't have to have a set of weights. You can use water bottles or, jugs or, whatever. You don't need anything really. You just need your body weight. That's all we need anyway. Just need our body.
Have you ever decided, hey, I want to do this particular type of exercise, and then when you went to adapt it, found that it was just not adaptable?
Well, I approached a Tai Chi instructor because I really wanted to make Tai Chi. And we talked about it. And he said, I just can't do this. And I'm sure it's doable. And I'm not going to say I'm never going to do it. But I don't know at this time how I can translate that flow that's required. It's a flowing, and I don't know how to translate that with my words yet. But I might get there. And the other thing people keep asking me for is Zumba. And I've never done Zumba myself because I'm really not very coordinated. And so a couple of people said, I can do a Zumba workout for you. Well, they start to do it and it turns out to be a lot more difficult than they think it's going to be. So yeah, those dancey ones I'm struggling with a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure I even know what Zumba is.
It's kind of dancey movements to kind of a salsa Latin rhythms.
Oh, okay.
And it's hard to translate for me, but I may try, but I'm not there yet.
So you're always thinking of new content, new exercises, new things to translate into something that can be adapted.
Exactly. Eventually, what I want, my goal is to be able to, for anybody, all of us, to be able to go and get the exact same workout that a sighted person gets and it will be described in such a way that they can follow it. So my goal is to teach fitness instructors how to use their words. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm creating a fitness glossary of descriptions. And I'm contemplating moving into videos, because now I think that I've got the audio files. I could actually video somebody doing those exercises in a high contrast way, because people that can see, they want to see, they want to look at it. And so I want to have that available for them if I can. So yeah, I've got a lot of goals. Delusions of grandeur, maybe.
Excellent. Well, we all have those. We're taking over the world.
Oh, good.
So motivation, of course, is a large part of a lot of exercise programs. Do you sort of bake that into the content of the exercises, or do you more address that as part of the blogging and podcasting?
You know, the videos themselves, not the videos, but the exercise, the workouts themselves, the fitness instructors have that motivational quality. They've got that upbeat encouragement, but I don't like silly, I don't like silly stuff. So that motivation is kind of built in, but my feeling is that if you really want it, you're going to come get it. And I can't make you want something that you don't want in your side of yourself. If you want it, I've got it for you, but I don't know how to make you want what I don't know how to make you want it. I haven't discovered the secret to that yet. That's honest, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, and it makes sense.
That is, yeah. And you've got me thinking, how do you motivate somebody? I honestly, I can't even motivate myself to exercise most of the time. So
well, and
my dog's my motivation.
Yeah, right. The dog, I mean, the dog needs exercise. So you go out and walk your dog, but I'm not a rah cheerleader type. And I don't respond to that myself. And I don't like, the hard sell. I don't know. That bothers me. So, I have it, and it's here for people that want it. And I can answer all kinds of questions when you're ready for the answers.
So if you're one of those people out there who gets winded picking up their socks, blindalive.com.
I guess I'm ordering some today.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I like the idea of being able to exercise at my desk.
Yeah, definitely.
We
absolutely
need to get rid of our chairs and get balls.
There you go. Steve,
I'm not going to say that. I'm not touching that.
Exercise balls. Let me clarify that.
I'm going to see people walking into the office. Geez, you guys got a lot of balls.
Well, thank you.
Oh man.
Wow.
We better change the subject.
Yeah. Are you watching any of the Paralympics?
No, I'm not. I don't watch TV ever. I don't have time to watch TV. I listen to podcasts, and then at night, my husband and I will just lie in bed and do Netflix. So what's going on? I don't even know. Tell me what's going on.
I think the most exciting thing I've seen so far was the 1500 for blind runners, male blind runners. 4 guys in the 1500 crossed the finish line faster than the guy who won the gold medal in the regular Olympics.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Even the guy who got 4th in the Paralympics ran a faster time than the able-bodied gold medal winner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It just goes to show those guys are training just as hard and achieving even more.
Better results.
Well, so what's stopping those guys? I mean, could they compete in the regular Olympics?
I don't know. I don't know if there'd be anything stopping them from doing that. I mean,
Run out of lanes. You'd have a guide runner in your lane probably too.
No, there's no guide runner.
So these runners were visually impaired, not totally blind?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's visually impaired. There had to be some sort of visual impairment, but I'm not sure to what degree.
Wow.
Yeah, whether they'd be able to compete or not in the regular Olympics, I don't know. I mean, they certainly should. Obviously, there's at least 4 of them there who should have been there.
Who knows? Maybe we'll eventually get to the day where they just roll the Paralympics into the regular Olympics, and it's all just one big.
Well, there's actually some different sports in the Paralympics that aren't part of the regular Olympics, so they'd have to run them parallel, I guess.
Sure.
But I think that the two should be run parallel.
Absolutely.
Because then you would have a much better chance of having it televised.
They don't get enough press. It doesn't get nearly enough press.
No, they don't. And some of those sports from the Paralympics are really extreme, like murder ball.
Yeah, wheelchair rugby.
That's in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah. I'm not into physical pain that much.
Yeah, goalball. Those goalball people are crazy too.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw myself in front of a weighted ball that's coming at me at 70 miles an hour. It's like,
No. I admire that. I really do. I admire it. But I like exercising in my room by myself.
fair enough.
Ryan's thinking.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Oh, no, sorry. He was thinking
No, I was just thinking
about
cha-ching,
lunch.
cha-ching, cha-ching. We're going to have to buy some of these exercises.
There you go.
Well,
yeah.
my wife and I were talking about taking some yoga lessons. We're joining a yoga group this winter, so this may be the better option.
Well, if nothing else, get those first 2, and that way you're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit familiar with some of the language and everything. I stripped out the Sanskrit terms and all of that, so it's all very, it's all very available in terms of language and everything. So yeah, try it out. Try that out and see what happens.
Well, we'll of course link to Blind Alive in the show notes. We'll have all the information, your Twitter account, the Facebook, everything there for people to check out.
Thank you guys so much. This is fun.
Thanks so much for joining us, Mel.
It's been great.
We're going to let you go so we can go back into our offices and sit on our balls.
I'll sit on mine too. All right, guys.
All right. Thanks so much, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, what do we got coming up next week, Ryan?
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's in my calendar.
All right, forget it.
I'll
I'm
look
going
on
to
my
give up
calendar if I'm invited.
plugging next week's show on this.
Couldn't tell you.
All those great 80s TV shows next week on Knight Rider. I don't know. Some shit happens. I don't know.
Some of the car talks. I don't know.
What do we know? We haven't written the damn thing yet.
Bill McCann from Dancing Dots.
Oh, there you go.
So, Bill, we're going to be talking to Bill McCann from Dancing Dots next week, Ryan.
Excellent. Glad to know that.
Okay. Well.
My week is complete. Hey, wait.
Oh,
How can people get a hold of us?
how can people
Oh,
get
that's a
hold
good
of us?
question, Ryan.
That's
Well,
what I thought.
Before we go, we should tell people that.
Well, I think so. I think so.
You think Sue?
I
Were
think
you
so.
Canadian?
I think so. A boot.
Right.
Right then.
All right. So, how can they email us?
Oh, gosh. Well, they can email us at atbanterpodcast@gmail.com.
They can visit us online at www.atbanter.com.
And they can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
And of course, if you're out there looking for a piece of assistive technology, visit us at www.aroga.com, where you will actually find that we now also have financing plans. We're the first Canadian company ever to offer financing plans for assistive technology.
Woot woot.
So check it out.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I've been Rob Minot.
I'm Ryan Fleury.
I remain Steve Barkley.
And we will see you guys next week.
This podcast has been brought to you by Aroga Technologies. Visit Aroga Technologies online at www.aroga.com. That's AROGA.com. Music provided by bensound.com.